Hey folks, this is just a brother from holiness.com, and I want to talk about a topic today, an issue, let's say, that's been going on and trending here in the last so many years, and that is the fact that it seems to be open season for any and every reason that people can just bash Christians. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't speak out when a group of Christians do something that is contradictory to the biblical mandate for us to live godly, live holy, live righteously. But I want to speak about this trend that's been going on for quite some time where people can, for any and every reason, if a Christian or groups of Christians don't do what is politically correct, that for any reason that Christians can be bashed and be bashed and castigated, talked down about in the public forum. Um, and let me say, it's not good to talk about Christians in a negative way in a private forum unless you have a biblical basis to do so. The Bible is the standard by which we Christians are supposed to live by. So judge us by that. But here, I want to talk about a specific example of something that happened to me. It was not quite 4 years ago. It was actually 3 years and some months. It was after the last U.S. presidential political election. And I was on Facebook, and one of my young relatives, I believe was at that time residing in the Pacific Northwest of here in the U.S., had a friend that was, I guess, friended on my relative's Facebook account, and that friend of hers posted something that seemed to me to be just berating Christians in that region, in that area. And I didn't feel that the reason that they were just bashing those Christians was a justifiable reason. Basically, this person was castigating, bashing, talking ugly about the Christians in that area because they decided not to vote for Hillary Clinton for president, but voted for President Trump. Now, I'm not here to defend President Trump or any political person. Um, their point was that I guess he was a racist or whatever. I'm not here to even say that President Trump hasn't made comments that people would feel are racist. My comment here is, or my point here is, to label a whole group of people as bad Christians or evil, or that they're bad or they're not good Christians, and they should be shunned, or you shouldn't affiliate with them or go to their church because they voted for President Trump. There's really, his point really didn't have a biblical basis that he was making why these people were bad Christians. And so me seeing, that posted on Facebook on my relative's account, and this relative of mine, where the comment was posted, she was raised by some very loving Christian parents. But in any case, I felt okay. I'd kind of formulate a sensible rebuttal to what he was saying, and indicated, look, that I've faced racism and have experienced that in my life, and but basically I didn't agree with him just putting all of these Christians in a negative light, that they're not good Christians and that they're the result or the cause of people not wanting to be a Christian, blah 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 blah, whatever. And so I posted my comment, my rebuttal to what he was saying. And for some reason, his comment was showing to everybody on social media that happened to saw it, but my comment did not appear. And I thought, okay, maybe there's something wrong here, silly me. So, I posted my comments again, and got a private message from my young relative indicating something to the effect that, well, she doesn't want to have any conflict or or debate or something to that effect. And what she was doing is each time I posted my comment, she was just basically blocking it and deleting it. Um, I don't know if she ever deleted the person who was bashing Christians, his comment, but I could see it at that time. And so it's perfectly within a person's right to block my comments. That's fine. Um, I basically just disconnected my Facebook from my relatives, so I don't have to see the bashing of Christians. And that's really what one of the things that I'm going to recommend that you all do. If somebody's just ridiculously bashing Christians without any biblical basis, just because you won't vote for their political candidate, um, and they don't prove how what you did was biblically wrong. um, and I don't honestly, both then presidential candidate Trump and presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, they both had some issues that people felt were significant issues. I mean, I could logically see why a Christian might not want to vote for an ultra liberal candidate like Hillary Clinton, who basically supports the extreme amount of abortion and killing of young children that have gone on for decades in this country. I think I saw a figure that said we're at um, 51 million unborn children that have been killed in the womb of their mother here in America since the 1970s. I could see where a Christian might not want to vote for an ultra liberal candidate who pushes homosexuality as just this thing that's just okay or great or whatever. Uh, a candidate who has no problem with all sorts of things within the Bible that a Christian biblically makes a case that they're heinous, that they're just a perversion according to Scripture. And as a matter of fact, several years ago, one of the liberal administrations here in America uh, took out made a lawsuit against the whole state of North Carolina here, because our state had made a law that we wanted to make it unlawful for a man to come into the public ladies' restrooms where our daughters and wives are. And that liberal administration sued our state. So I could see Christians are really concerned about some of these aspects. Is racism real? Yeah, it's real too. So you've got on both sides, you've got candidates within the conservative, they call it conservative realm, that have issues. There are candidates within the liberal realm. What I do is what my suggestion is to Christians is look at the Bible and the principles that are most dear to you, righteousness, morality, according to the biblical standard, and pray and make a choice. I won't even say who's the best candidate in these elections. Maybe you have to fall back to the position of who will do the least harm to our communities, who will be the least obstructive to our stand, both privately and publicly, for biblical moral standards. So basically, it was my relative's right to block my comments, as far as her civil right. I did disconnect, unfriend from that relative, so I didn't have to see those comments again. And that's something that one of the tools in your arsenal you can consider. If people are bashing Christians and they don't want to hear your civil, very thoughtful rebuttal to them bashing Christians, and they're going to block your comments but let people just wantonly bash the Christians, maybe one of the things that you do is disconnect or unfriend that person on, whether it's social media. If it's an organization that you belong to, and they're bashing Christians, a political organization, or even a secular, non-political organization, even a religious organization, and they allow bashing of Christians, and that's what they're, is okay. It's your right to disconnect from that organization and even to withhold your funds. It's within your civil rights. So I think I'll end there, and just in these elections, pray, read the Bible, and make the best choice you can.